श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। हरिः ओम्। 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 असतो मा सद्गमय तमसो मा ज्योतिर्गमय मृत्योर्मामृतं गमय। ओम शांति शांति शांति। ओम सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावतीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ओम शांति शांति शांति। सर्ववेदांत सिद्धांत गोचरं तमगोचरं गोविंदं परमानंदं सद्गुरुं प्रणतोऽस्म्यहम्। Welcome to the study of this wonderful scripture, Vivekacūḍāmaṇi. Viveka, or the sense of discrimination between the right and wrong, between the permanent and the impermanent. This sense will dawn upon us once we understand the nature of the world around us and also understand who we are. Essentially, who am I? This one fundamental question, who am I, has to be asked by us every now and then. We will be getting some gross answers like I am so and so, I am the son or daughter of so and so, etc. But if we keep on making this inquiry, which in Vedanta language is called as vichara, inquisitiveness, or delving deeper into the nature of one's being. This vichara must continue all the time. Asukter amritaher nayet vedanta chintaya, says the scriptures. As long as you are awake, as long as you are alive, so long should you keep on making this inquiry. Nayet vedanta chintaya. This thought about who am I, that must be continuous. So the Shishya, the disciple, has come with great Shraddha. We have taken up this one word, Shraddha, very deeply earlier. Shraddha is that attitude with which we should approach a knower of Brahman or a teacher, having full faith in his or her words, and also having full faith in the words of the scriptures. Shastrasya Guru Vakyasya Satya Buddhi Avadharanam Sa Shraddha Katita. Shastra is the scripture and Guru Vakya, the words of the teacher or the Guru. Satya Buddhi, one must hold on to the truth of what is being taught and try to assimilate in one's life. That is real Shraddha. Not mere belief in something, but deep faith. So with this kind of Shraddha, a disciple approaches the Guru and he says, Katham tareyam bhavasindu metam kava gatirme katamostyupaya janena kinchit kripaya vamam prabho samsara dukkha kshati matanushva. Katham tareyam, how shall I cross this ocean? This ocean looks like a never-ending ocean. As long as you keep on experiencing this world, this ocean of samsara will remain. Therefore, he asks, how can I get across this ocean? Tareyam, how can I cross this ocean or swim in this ocean? Bhavasindumetam. Kava gatir me. What is to be my fate? Is my fate that I should be reborn again and then experience all the trials and tribulations as I am doing in this life? Kava gatir me. Katamostyupayaha. What path should I adopt? Or what means should I adopt? As to this, I know nothing. See, humility alone can bring knowledge to us. If we are humble, then only would knowledge come to us. If we start with the premise saying that I know everything, and I start questioning arrogantly the teacher, the vidya or the knowledge that would be given by the teacher will not even enter into your brain. Far be it to enter into one's spiritual being or the spiritual heart. Therefore, says, one should say, I do not know anything. Then only when we go or approach the divine or the Guru, who is nothing but a form of the divine, when we approach the Guru or the teacher, spreading our hands and say, you have to save me, you have to save me. Then out of great compassion, the teacher would give refuge and will teach us. In the 41st verse onwards, the teacher, the Guru, gives the response to the prayer of the spiritual aspirant or the Shishya. What does he say? Tatha vadantam sharanagatam swam samsaradāvānalatāpataptam nirikshya karunya rasardra drishtya dadyādabhītim sahasa mahatma. As he speaks thus, Tatha vadantam sharanagatam, one who has taken refuge in him, samsaradāvānalatāpataptam, one who is tormented by the afflictions of the world, which is like a forest on fire. Nirikshya karunya drisha, the karunya rasardra drishtya, a very beautiful expression in Sanskrit. Karunya rasardra. Ardra means wet or shedding tears of joy. Ardra means, of course, wetting one's eyes. So, with his, that is to say, the teacher is overcome with compassion and then looks at the disciple. Here, it is not the physical looking that is to be understood. It is that the teacher looks into the inner desire or inner aspiration of the disciple. See, there are people who go to gurus, they have a lot of negativities within themselves. They have a lot of doubts within themselves. And also they have got a lot of arrogance within themselves. With arrogance, they will question the teacher as if they are lawyers and that the teacher is defending himself. So that should not be there. But the teacher, the Sadguru, has this great capacity to see into the insides of people. Sri Ramakrishna used to say, when people would come to me, I can see. I can see their insides, that is, their inner nature, very clearly, all their thoughts and all their feelings, everything I can see clearly. I see it as clearly as I see the objects kept within a glass case, a bookcase, glass bookcase, or a showcase. So in the same way I can see. You cannot escape the piercing, the X-ray eyes of the Guru. One cannot escape it. He may not reveal what he or she has seen, but very well has the Guru seen through yourself. That is the idea. Karuna ardra drishtya. With, he says, the saint eyes him with a glance softened with pity, because he sees how much, just as when a mother sees the pain in the child. So when a child is suffering, the pain can be felt in, or one can observe the pain in the mother's eyes also. The same way, Guru is none but the spiritual mother of us, of all of us. The saint eyes him with a glance softened with pity and spontaneously bids him give up all fear. Swami Vivekananda says, this is one great message that the Upanishads give to us. Do not fear, do not fear. Abhi, do not fear. So he assures him and says, do not be afraid. Datyad abhitim, so have no fear. Abhayam. In the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, we find a beautiful incident when King Janaka goes to meet, or when Sage Yajnavalkya comes to meet King Janaka in the court. The king is, of course, Janaka is a king, no doubt, but he was one who had realized the ultimate. He was a Raja Rishi. He was a king, but yet he was a Rishi, knower of Brahman. So seeing him, Yajnavalkya says, Abhayam vai Janaka praptosi. You have attained to that state of fearlessness, O Janaka, O king. you have attained to that. So that's what the Guru does. He removes the fear from the heart of the disciple. I have no fear, have no fear. Holy Mother, a devotee came to see Holy Mother Sharda Devi and is full of remorse for what she had done and said, "What will happen to me? How will I be saved? I have committed so much of sin in my life. I don't think I am worthy to be saved." So Holy Mother looks at him. It is not her. Looks at him and says, "My child, whenever you are afraid, say to yourself, I have a mother, and all the fear will disappear." What an extraordinary statement that she makes over there. And this man really got rid of all of his fear, all of his doubts. Just that one sentence. Whenever you are under trials and tribulations, always remember that you have a mother. Have no fear. I am here. That is the abhaya that the Guru gives to all of us. No calculation, no thought of anything at all. The Guru absorbs all of our fears. We'll go to the next verse, 42nd verse, page 21 of the book. Vidvan satasma upasattimi mumukshave sadhu yatoktakarine prashanta chittaya shamanvikaya tattvopadesham kripayaiva kuryat. To him who has sought his protection, thirsting for liberation, who duly obeys the injunctions of the scriptures, who is of a serene mind and endowed with calmness, to such a one, the sage proceeds to inculcate the truth out of sheer grace. See, the teacher will immediately impart the knowledge or the science about the supreme truth, who has sought his protection. Upasattim iyushe. Upasattim iyushe means seeking protection. Upasattim iyushe. And mumukshave sadhu yatoktakarine is thirsting for liberation. That thirst must be there. And is also prepared to obey the injunctions of the scriptures. Yatha ukta karini. Yatha karini means the injunctions of the scriptures. And then he or she is ready to fulfill the moral and ethical conditions that are necessary to obtain this knowledge. Endowed with calmness. And to such a person, the sage proceeds to inculcate. The teacher gives this wonderful truth, pure truth, unalloyed truth as it is called. No mixture there. Pure truth to the student out of sheer compassion. So the container also must be big enough, must be large enough to contain this knowledge. That is to say, we have to clear our mind of all the dirt and dust that we have tried to accumulate. Actually, we make effort to accumulate this. Unfortunately, we should make sure that we do not make any more effort to accumulate the dirt and dust. So that to such a person, the sage proceeds to inculcate the truth out of sheer grace. Kripa, kripa, kripa. That is the one thing. Kripa means grace, grace, grace. Now, the Guru assures the disciple. What does he say? Ma bhaishtavidvam tavanastyapayah samsara sindhos taranestyupayah yenaiva yata yatayosya param tameva margam tavanir dishami. This is a verse which people quote quite a lot. What does he say? Ma bhaishta, fear not. And see the language there. Vidwan. See, he is addressing the disciple and say, you are the learned one. That is, you do not begin with the premise that you are a fool. The teacher does not begin with the premise that that the disciple is a fool. He says, no, you are knowledgeable enough. That's why you have come to me. You would not come to me if you did not have knowledge. You won't seek a guru if you do not have the knowledge about this spiritual attainments. So he says, O learned one, there is no dearth for thee. That is, there is no death for thee. You have death. Sorry. There is no death for thee. You are immortal. You think that you are mortal, but indeed you are not so. You are immortal as the Atman, as the Self. You are immortal. It was never that you were born. It is never that you will cease to exist. You have been there all the time. You will be here henceforth as well. So there is no death for thee. This is a wonderful statement that the teacher makes here. There is a means of crossing this sea of relative existence. There is a means, that is, there is always a way out. Do not ever think that all the doors have been closed. There is always a way out. The one thing that we should have is faith in our own selves. I must have faith, Shraddha, within myself and also Shraddha in the saving grace of the divine through our Guru. So, we can live in the world. Sri Ramakrishna says very clearly, you may live in the world, but do not be of the world. He gives a few examples. Says, you may get into the boat. The boat can remain in water, but water should not remain in the boat. The water should not remain in the boat. Similarly, we live in the world, but the worldliness must not affect us. Once the worldliness gets into us, we will start sinking. Therefore, this great nauka or this great boat called the Guru is there with us. We only have to hang on and not bring in all the worldliness in our understanding. And secondly, we should keep moving. One should not be stagnant in spiritual life. Just because one has a few experiences, as you progress in spiritual life, as it is in any path, any vocation of life, as you progress, you will get certain experiences, you will have certain visions, you will have certain feelings, physical, mental, and otherwise, you will have all of that. But we should not say that, oh, I have achieved the goal. No. When the goal is achieved, you don't have to even think about it, because the thought process will completely stop at that time. So therefore he says that you should keep moving. Don't be stagnant in spiritual life. Swami Yatishwarananji, one of our great souls, one of great Swamis, used to say that there is no holiday in spiritual life. In spiritual life, there is no holiday. It is continuous. Patanjali so beautifully puts in the Yoga Sutra, Satu Dirghakala Nairantarya Satkara Asevito Dridha Bhumihi. You will be established on a firm ground. If I have to build a building, I must have a firm foundation. In order to build such a building, what I need to do is Dirghakala. I will have to take a long time, because everything takes time. Dirghakala, but one should not give it up halfway. Nirantara, relentless, continuous. Then he says, Satkara asevitaha. See, you should be respectful to the science itself, spiritual science, or the spiritual life that you have undertaken. I have undertaken, for example, the Guru might have given you a mantra. After some time, you might feel, oh, what is there in this? It is a very ordinary mantra. Okay, why should I bother anymore? Why should I keep on repeating? No, we don't want repetitions anyway. So why should I keep on repeating? It's not giving me any joy. It's only a bother. So if we think like that, then we will never progress. But if we have that firm faith that what I have received or what I have got is something which will take me to the other shore, which will definitely make me go onward, then you should satkara asevita. He says you should do whatever you are doing with satkara. That means you should do it with respect. With respect, satkara means inviting somebody and respectfully, and then treating that person well. That is called as satkara in our culture. So therefore it says satkara asevitaha. You must welcome this spiritual practice in your life with great respect, devotion and respect. Then it will become dridabhumihi. Then you will be stationed on a firm ground. That is what he says here, satkara asevitaha. And he says, fear not, O learned one, there is no death for thee. There is a means of crossing this sea of relative existence. That very way by which sages have gone beyond it, I shall inculcate to thee. Not something that the Guru has created newly. It has been coming from Brahma Devanam Pratama Sambhavuva. The Upanishad says that from the Brahma down to the rishis and to the present teachers, gurus, it has been handed over. It is like the baton handing over, the relay race. So it has been handed over from one to the other continuously. There is no let or hindrance over there. It has been continuously being handed over to us. And therefore, we have with us this great treasure, which is timeless, one can say. We can never say when it has started. It is timeless. Therefore, it is of great, very importance. Even if an object is 100 years old, it gains so much of value. It has antique value. See, and here we have this spiritual science that has been handed over to us from millions of years, probably, or even trillions of years. Who knows? Nobody knows. But it has been handed over rightfully to us. That must be understood. Therefore, we must treasure it. Whatever has been handed to us, we must treasure it with great devotion. That's the idea. Astyupayo mahan kaschit samsara bhayanashanah tena tirtva bhavam bodhim paramanandamapsyasi. See, is reassuring the disciple, asti upayaha. There is a way. There is a sovereign means, he says. Sovereign means which puts an end to the fear of relative existence. This is, he calls it sovereign means. Because when the government issues you a sovereign note, then it is valid, very much valid over there. In the same way, there is a sovereign means which puts an end to the fear of relative existence. This existence that we are in, where we suffer, that will come to a complete full stop. That's what he says. Through that, what will happen to you? You will cross the sea of samsara and again the supreme and gain the supreme bliss. See? The Buddha, after this realization, he calls all his disciples and he says, listen to what I say, disciples. I have gained this immortal bliss. I shall teach it to you. I shall show you this truth. So that the teachers give us as it were a fruit in their hand. They just hand it over to us. What we should do is carefully preserve it and practice these spiritual disciplines that has been given to us. The same idea. Vedantartha vicharena jnayate jnanamuttamam tenatyantika samsara dukkhanasho bhavatyanu. Says, reasoning on the meaning of the Vedanta leads to efficient knowledge, which is immediately followed by the total annihilation of the misery born of relative existence. See, from this verse onwards, Sri Shankaracharya is teaching us the means of self-realization, the realization of the ultimate. So, Vedantartha vicharena, artha vichara, Vedanta artha vicharena, the meaning of the Vedanta. What is Vedanta? It is the conclusion of the experience of all the sages and saints. It has all been codified. It has all been brought together in the form of the Upanishads. Of course, when we say Vedanta, normally it includes all the Vedas, the ritualistic portions, etc., and the Jnanakanda, that is the Upanishads, and it also includes the Bhagavad Gita and the other scriptures. So anything Anything that you get, you take it. Whatever has been given to you, the teacher has given to you, you take it and try and follow it. That is that is the secret. Just follow whatever the teacher asks you to do. It's that he says here. Reasoning on the meaning of the Vedanta leads to efficient knowledge. Efficient knowledge means the highest knowledge, which consists in the realization of the identity of the individual soul with Brahman. Brahma Atma Aikyatva Anubhuti. Brahman and Atman. This individual self, who I am thinking is this little puny body and mind, this must be given up, and instead we must establish that identity. I am a part and parcel of Brahman. Or if we cannot do that, I am a reflection of that Brahman or the Supreme Being. So one must do this. Advaita Vedanta especially asks us to do this vichara. That means this reasoning. Who am I? And am I the body? Am I the mind? Am I the senses, etc.? Am I all the upadhis or the adjuncts that I have given to myself? Or is there something greater and beyond all of this? This thought has to come to us. See, following Vedanta is very simple. Day in and day out, you just keep on asking this question. Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? That's all that one needs to do. Because we are unable to do that, then the teachers will say, all right, first think of God as an external being, and then slowly and slowly bring that same divine who is outside into your heart, worship the divine, and then you will be able to graduate to that level wherein you can feel that you are one with Brahman or the Supreme Being. So reasoning on the meaning of the Vedanta leads to efficient knowledge, which is immediately followed by the total annihilation of the misery born of relative existence. That is to say, as soon as this supreme knowledge dawns in our heart, then we will experience the truth. Sri Ramakrishna beautifully says, if you bring light into a room which has been darkened for 1,000 years, do you think that because the room was dark for 1,000 years, do you think that the room will become brighter little by little, little by little? Or as soon as you bring in the light, the whole room would become lighted? Similarly, we might have gone through millions of births, etc. But as soon as this knowledge dawns upon us, as soon as this knowledge is experienced here, immediately there is illumination. All the darkness is immediately removed. That is the idea. It will not, darkness will, or ignorance will not linger anymore. Sri Ramakrishna also says, if you travel from the west towards the east, the west will be put behind. Similarly, if you go towards God, then the world will be far behind you. It will not disturb you anymore. So this putting our first step in front and taking that decision that I shall traverse this path. I shall definitely go towards the desired goal. That conviction must come to us. And that urge must be there, of course. If you do not have the urge, then nothing can happen. When the urge comes, you will go all by yourself. Sri Ramakrishna gives an example. A small child tells his mother, "Mummy, I am going to sleep now. I am going to bed now. If I feel like weeing, would you wake me up?" And mother says, "My child, if you feel like weeing, that urge itself will wake you up." Similarly, when the inner urge comes to us, then we will not restrain ourselves, we will go forward. But listening to the words of the Guru or reading the Shastras, etc., will slowly and slowly develop the taste within us. And then the urge becomes stronger and stronger. So that urge must become stronger and stronger. Then the world, which used to be a horrible place to us, or the world that we thought is going to give us a lot of joy and peace, will be left behind without even glancing once. Without even glancing once. So we will stop here today, and we will take up the 46th verse in 2 weeks' time. 2 weeks' time, isn't it? Yeah. Let me. Yes, 22nd is our next study of the Vivekacūḍāmaṇi, 22nd. Om Shanti 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 Hari Om Tat Sat. Sri Ramakrishna. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji. Good night. Thank you.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji.
Thank you, Swamiji. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Thanks, everyone.
Thank you.